Welcome to Take It from the Iron Woman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Iron Woman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. Take It from the Iron Woman. Today we speak to Val Quinn again. She's from Ireland, executive and life coach and business trainer. Formerly, she has worked for the Coca-Cola Company. Now she's currently writing a book, Reimagining, Rewiring, or Retiring.
Reimagining, Rewiring, or Retiring.
Which aims to help inspire people to lead purpose-led and fulfilled lives. This book will be coming out by the end of the year. Listen to her, how the book came about and how you can contribute.
I left Coke 2 years ago with voluntary redundancy. Really what happened there was Coke had brought around a voluntary redundancy program, which they hadn't done in the 17 years I've been with them. At the same time that had happened, I actually had gone blind in my right eye. And I was having a review on my eye at the same time that they said, okay, the voluntary redundancy is open now to European colleagues. And I had the review on my eye and they said, look, we've restored your sight. Science is wonderful, but equally, you do have an issue with your retina, and actually not just one eye, but both eyes, and you will need future operations. And there's a small chance you might go blind. I thought, right, okay. And this was happening at the same time as the voluntary redundancy. I thought, right, okay, maybe this is the universe giving me a little message here. It might be time to start to think about doing some other things. So I took the voluntary redundancy. I was at home and I thought, oh, okay, I wonder what I'll do now. Because it all happened quite quickly. It wasn't I was anticipating being retired, I guess, that early. I was 53 years of age, so I wasn't anticipating being retired. I thought, I wonder what I'll do now. And I thought, okay, well, here's some options open to me. And I started to plan it nearly as I would a business plan, the way that I had been trained. Okay, well, what are some of the considerations? What are my strengths? What could I do? What are some of the options? What am I interested in? I started to think about that. And as I was thinking about it, I thought, there's got to be loads of people who are in this situation like me. And it might be quite interesting if I wrote my story and my journey of my career and the choices that I made and why I made them. I've lived in London, I've lived in the States, I've lived in Ireland, I've worked in sales, I've worked in marketing, I've done general management, I managed the Coke business, etc. I just thought it might be quite interesting. Then obviously I'd got into coaching and mentoring. So I thought I can take some of those models even and explain them to anybody that could be in this situation and is looking for some inspiration. But equally, I thought, well, I can tell this from my story, from my angle, but actually it'd be really interesting to hear other people's stories. And that if you're working and you feel, for whatever reason, you might have loved your job at the start, but now you're feeling stuck or perhaps a little under challenged, or you want to change for whatever reason, but you don't know how to, or you feel like you've got golden handcuffs that you just can't change because your lifestyle is as such that you're living within your means, but not any extra money. You couldn't change career perhaps or take a step off the career ladder. I wanted people to tell their authentic stories, and in doing so that they would help and inspire other people. Because I feel as well that if people are stuck for too long, it actually will start to suck some passion out of them. Therefore, I wanted to try and inspire them through these stories and people writing stories within the book. I thought, if you stay stuck for too long, it can affect your mental health. And so therefore, I've invited these people to write the stories. They're writing them pro bono. And any of the proceeds from the book then will be donated to a mental health charity. The book is hopefully a book about giving of our experience and trying to inspire people.
Wonderful. How many stories do you have currently? Or is it finalized already?
It's not finalized yet. I've got about 30 people who've committed to writing. I have 17 stories right now. The rest are due in the coming months. And I'm also writing at the moment to publishers because the option is that I'm trying to find a publisher. So if anybody's listening to this who's a publisher who's interested, please do reach out, val@tilly.ie. I'm looking to get it published and I'm hoping that the book will be completed by year end. Would be wonderful if it was. That's the timing around it.
That's exciting. I think if you have your own stories, but then if you add other people's stories, that makes it even more powerful because then it's not only one voice, but we hear the voices of others and then we even can relate more like, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, they have the same story and you might dig a little deeper and also maybe connect with that person.
Exactly. And this isn't a book that a person will read from beginning to end. You might dip in and read a story and go, actually, I don't relate to that person at all. But then you'll dip in and read another story and say, actually, this is as if it's my life. Then hopefully you get inspired as to some options and the how to as well. We'll share maybe books people have read or websites that they've linked to that help to further knowledge in terms of the choices and how you can progress on those choices. Also, I realized that some of the challenges, say, that face me being Irish and living in Ireland may be different than a person who lives in America or lives elsewhere in Europe or lives in India, for example. One of the people considering writing the book, you may have heard her talk in Washington, is a lady called Nazara. And she's an Indian lady who's trans. And to be trans in India is nearly an impossibility. She's going to write a chapter about the choices that she made along the way, and she now lives in the Netherlands. The book is written also by male and female, so it's not just females telling their stories, and then also from different countries, so that if there's something that impacts somebody in one country, well, that might be relevant or not relevant to somebody who lives and works in another country. I've got people from Canada, the US, Ireland, England, and India, a variety of people. Also a variety, I've tried to get a variety of backgrounds. I'm obviously got a business background, but then I also have an actress from LA who's writing something. I've got a sports guy, a rugby player in Ireland whose their sports career is now ended due to age, obviously. So therefore, he's now got into business. How did he transition in that? A tennis player who liked the same thing, was a qualified tennis player. Now he's gone into business coaching. Radio DJ in New York, actually, I must introduce you to him. Similarly, interestingly enough, he's a triathlete, but has actually gone blind. So now he still does triathlon, but even though he's blind, he has a person who helps him do that. But he's transitioned from business now into a passion of his, which is being a radio DJ in New York. So it's a big variety of people rather than just saying, actually, gosh, she was a senior executive in Coca-Cola. I can't relate to her. Hopefully there's a story in there somewhere that you can pull elements from the different stories, even in terms of inspiring a new chapter in somebody else's life.
I love it. And I also love that it's not the celebrities. Sometimes we read those books of the celebrities and we're like, oh, what an easy life. It's people tangible. I lost my job. I know how it is, how to get out of this, and that there is life after a job that you've had for 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Yes,
but it takes, again, I think it takes that Ironman or marathon motivation, change the mindset and be open and be positive and see the opportunities rather than to cocoon and stay home and get depressed. But I think that's also what we have to help others, because you and I know how hard it is to train for a marathon or for the Ironman. But what we get out of this, they all know exercise helps not to be depressed.
Yes, exactly. Also, it's a case of dare to dream. Dare to dream in an Ironman, dare to set this lofty goal that you think, I could never do that, and then go, actually, I could do it. I just need to break it down. I just need help. That's the same with your career. If you're feeling stuck in your job, dream. Like when we were kids, we used to dream, oh, I'm going to be an astronaut and I'm going to fly around the world. And we had such imagination. Then suddenly somewhere along the way, we stopped dreaming. And if we allow ourselves to dream again, then it's actually the question is, how can I do it? And once you're into the how, then it's you just ask people for help. And next thing you're doing it before you're doing it.
Can't wait to get that book. Let's finish on this high note. I'm really excited. Good luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully we can meet next time when you're in DC or somewhere around the world.
I'd love that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Reimagining, rewiring, or retiring. Thank you so much for all the insights. Many great people are sometimes stuck and need to read your book, need to read stories from other people who have a similar path, who have some obstacles that they have conquered. What will you take away from this episode? Get the book. It's coming out soon. Take It from the Iron Woman. We have episodes every Monday. And also Take It from the Iron Woman is the book, Global Business Coaching with Sports Parallels. Get it in your local bookstore, support local business, or order it online. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye-bye.